Your Delta SkyMiles are probably holding you hostage. By now, you've probably heard the term Sky Pesos, because on average, SkyMiles are worth noticeably less than other airline miles. And here's the real question. What if Delta loyalty is actually costing you more than you realize? Today, we're breaking down your SkyMiles strategy for 2026, when it makes sense to stay loyal, and when it makes sense to pivot so that you can stop letting your miles control your travel. Let me be completely clear. This is not a why you should stop flying Delta video. I'm personally flying Delta more than I ever have. They're consistently on time, I think they have great staff, and they have an extensive route network that fits my schedule. This video is about being strategic when it makes sense to be loyal to Delta and when it doesn't. First, let's start off with the basics. Delta SkyMiles are the rewards currency for Delta Airlines, the most profitable airline in the US. Delta brands itself as the US premium carrier, which that's a whole nother conversation to debate about later. In addition to SkyMiles, Delta also has a loyalty program in their medallion status: silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. This program was overhauled in 2024 with some big changes that make it much more expensive to earn status with the airline. Delta typically adjusts the requirements for its elite status every few years, and so far we haven't seen anything yet for 2026, so expect some changes on the horizon. First, let's start with where you should be using your SkyMiles. When it comes to redeeming miles, the best value typically falls within these buckets. First are flash sales. These are some of the best uses of SkyMiles. Deeply discounted award tickets that often pop up without warning. Delta usually doesn't advertise these sales because they would rather charge you more for these flights. These sales are often just hours, if not less, which can be really hard to grab. Second are routes that you're already tracking. SkyMiles prices are partially tied to the cash rate. When the cash rate drops, the SkyMiles rate typically follows about 24 to 48 hours later. This is where tracking your flights really matters through a website like Google Flights. Especially if you're booked in a main cabin ticket or higher, you can rebook that ticket with zero change fees, meaning if the mileage price drops, you can redeposit those miles back into your SkyMiles account. Third is new routes. Delta often prices new routes more aggressively, especially early on. Within the past year, Delta launched several new routes, including this incredible deal we found all the way to Hong Kong in Delta One, as low as 93,000 SkyMiles one way. They do this in order to fill seats on new routes that may not be selling right away, and it's a great way to see new places and spend fewer miles along the way. Fourth, international flights outside of the US and Canada. SkyMiles pricing tends to be cheaper when you get outside of North America. Think routes like Paris to Cape Town or Sydney to Seoul. While availability isn't always there, it's often more predictable and often a cheaper price. And finally, flexible last-minute bookings. When the cash price spikes close to departure, SkyMiles can actually save you some serious money. Having a stash for a last-minute trip or a family emergency or even a weekend getaway can come in handy, especially when the prices get out of hand. These SkyMile deals are exactly where Thrifty Traveler Premium comes in. We help you get the most out of your miles by catching the deals that actually matter. Delta flash sales, partner award bookings, price drops on cash fares, sent straight to your inbox. Try Thrifty Traveler Premium today and get $20 off your first year using code FIRST20. Plus, there's zero risk. If we don't find a flight deal for you within your first 100 days, we have a 100% money-back guarantee. Next, let's talk about one of the biggest shifts in airline loyalty and something that affects almost everyone in 2026. Most airlines, including Delta, now reward spend, not flying. Even to achieve Delta's lowest silver medallion status, you have to spend over $5,000 annually with the airline. While there are several avenues outside of flights to spend the money towards status, things like credit cards, Delta vacations, hotel and car rentals, and more, it has gotten a lot more expensive to achieve even the most basic Delta status. At the same time, more people than ever are achieving Delta status. Longer upgrade lists, more competition, and fewer upgrades to go around. Delta actually showed a statistic that shows just how dramatic this change has been. Just 10 years ago, Delta was giving around 90% of its seats away in the form of complimentary upgrades to its most loyal flyers. Today, that number is close to 10%, a complete flip from free to paid. And you can clearly see it in Delta's financials. In their 2025 earnings report, Even though economy ticket revenue declined by about $1 billion, premium cabin revenue actually surpassed economy, allowing Delta to maintain a profit margin of over $5 billion. So no, Delta isn't trying to upgrade you anymore. They're trying to sell you that seat. Now this isn't all bad news. At the same time that free upgrades are becoming rarer, paid upgrades are actually more accessible than ever depending on the routes that you fly. In some cases, Delta would rather sell that first class seat for $19 rather than giving it away for free. But on the other end of the spectrum, we've also seen upgrade offers that are completely outrageous. It's all part of the law of supply and demand. Delta is constantly testing upgrade prices to see which price you'll bite at for a confirmed upgrade rather than taking a last-minute chance for a complimentary one. So then you need to ask the question, what's even the point of loyalty anymore if Delta would rather sell that first class seat to the lowest bidder rather than their most loyal flyer? And what's the best or worst upgrade offer that you've ever seen? Drop it in the comments because some of these are wild. So if most premium seats are no longer being given away for loyalty, when does chasing loyalty even make sense? There's two main scenarios where I think chasing Delta status actually is worth it. One is when someone else is footing the bill. If your employer or someone else is willing to pay for that expensive Delta seat regularly and doesn't cost you much to pursue Delta status, the benefits can be very valuable. Second would be a personal analysis of the benefits outweighing the thousands of dollars it costs you to earn that status. At higher tiers, do you take advantage of things like the regional and global upgrade certificates, the rare upgrades to Comfort Plus and First Class, free checked bags, faster mile accumulation, and more? For me this past year, I was about 1,000 MQDs away from hitting Platinum Medallion status. So at the end of last year, I took a last-minute trip to London. Because for me right now, I'll be able to receive more in value over the coming year based on my current travel plans. As someone who's taller, those automatic Comfort Plus upgrades are a huge benefit. Access to SkyTeam lounges across the world, and those 4 regional upgrade certificates make it more than worth it for me. You have to do the numbers to determine if it's really worth it for you. For most travelers, holding a Delta credit card is now more valuable than chasing Delta status. A lot of the benefits that people chase through status are already included on these credit cards. Free checked bags, priority boarding, access to upgrades, companion certificates, and other discounts. And instead of paying tens of thousands of dollars with the airline, you're just paying a few $100s in annual fees that can almost always be offset by the credits and benefits that come with these cards. The biggest difference? Those benefits are guaranteed every year, and you don't have to force yourself into loyalty. Simply holding the card unlocks these benefits. And when you pair that with other credit cards that earn transferable points, you can use those points to book Delta flights for fewer miles, giving yourself the option to pay less for the exact same flight. Speaking of transferring points, often the best points and miles redemptions for Delta actually don't come from Delta itself. Instead, they come through their airline partners, mainly Air France, KLM, and Virgin Atlantic. Here's why this matters. Delta will often charge hundreds of thousands of SkyMiles, especially for things like Delta One. But by booking through a partner, you can often book that exact same seat for a fraction of the price. You can do this through earning points on cards like Chase, American Express, and Capital One. This means that you're spending less money on a credit card, spending less points on flights, and earning the exact same experience in the air. This is perfect for people who want to fly in premium cabins more often, or for families looking to save more on airfare. Now, we want to be honest here. These bookings are becoming harder to find. Availability can be limited, and typically you need some flexibility. But these redemptions are still out there, and when you can find them, they're some of the best values in points and miles. Another thing that people don't realize is that sometimes the cash price for a Delta flight can actually be cheaper on their airline partners. For example, this flight through Delta might cost this, but with KLM, you can book that exact same flight for this. Is this guaranteed? No. But it's always worth looking at, especially for big international trips. That's why starting with flexible points and saving your SkyMiles for other redemptions give Delta flyers more options than they realize. To sum it all up, loyalty to Delta and your SkyMiles isn't always worth it, especially heading into 2026. That doesn't mean you stop flying Delta. It means you stop letting loyalty make the decisions for you. Let yourself be a free agent. Fly Delta when it fits your schedule and your budget. Start your bookings with Google Flights, not Delta.com. Track your routes, watch for price drops, and let the fare, not the logo, decide when you book. Earn points that can be transferred to Delta and its partners so that way you're not stuck with SkyMiles 100% of the time. Then, when the right deal shows up, that's when you use your SkyMiles. We at Thrifty Traveler are constantly tracking Delta flash sales, award charts, and more so that way you can spend fewer miles. And finally, expect changes over the next year or two. Airline loyalty is supposed to work for you, not against you. And airlines are noticing that travelers are getting smarter. When that happens, programs change, incentives shift, and devaluations follow. The goal is to stay flexible, stay informed, and be always ready to pivot. Thanks so much for watching today's video. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more travel tips. And send this video to somebody stuck in the SkyMiles trap. And I'd love to hear from you. Is there anything that I missed, or is there anything that you're doing differently for your SkyMiles strategy in 2026? Drop it in the comments, and I'll see you next time.